Greetings, Earth Angels, and welcome to Earth Angel Activities, where I'll be doing a reading for all the Earth Angels out there. So, with my meditation today, one of the main things that was coming to me was the idea of vibration, frequency vibration, and how so many conversations that we have are often unspoken. I was brought to the idea by a grain of rice. And I was just thinking about how, if you were to leave rice down on the ground, how long before ants come to the rice? And as I was thinking about that, I was like, well, there's got to be some sort of vibration going on, right? No matter how you explain it, ultimately we come down to frequency and vibration. And that frequency and vibration, and those frequencies and vibrations, they either attract or repel experiences, friendships, all types of things, And I was thinking about how a lot of times with Earth Angels genuinely have difficulties with boundaries, be it on the giving or the receiving end. There are times when an Earth Angel will want to assist somebody, and the person is telling them no, that they don't really want assistance, but sometimes some Earth Angels will insist that they help. And then by the time this fiasco or this sort of fiasco goes on for some time, you're tired. You're exhausted. You've given to so many situations and so many circumstances when you really needed not to. Boundaries point at a lot of different unresolved issues. Being able to set healthy boundaries is going to make your spiritual journey much better. It's going to make life easier by learning how to set healthy boundaries, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and get into these cards, and we'll see what messages, what energies our angels, our spirit team wants to get into with us, okay? So we'll go ahead and start. Thank you so much, Divine Mother and Father, Most High God. Thank you to our angels. Thank you for the viewer. Thank you for allowing us to be here. Thank you for your messages. Thank you for allowing the viewer to understand and receive the messages that they are divinely aligned with receiving. In your name, we thank you so much for healing. We thank you for restoration. And we thank you for forgiveness. In your name, we thank you so much. So it is. Ashe. Thank you. What messages do you want to discuss with the viewer? Change and pride. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. What else do you want to go with this change and pride? Fear. Now, fear is the energy that I thought I saw come out. I thought that this was the fear card, but it was the pride card. So fear, I realized that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. Okay, and this is, I love myself and I see myself in everyone. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. And then at the bottom of the deck, forgiveness. Forgiveness. I felt the energy of forgiveness very strong during the prayer. And We'll read the card. It says, I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. So we have 3 cards out here that are specifically talking about love. And this card back here reminds me of the love card, but it's surrender. Okay. This guilt, love. See, this right here, it reminds me so much of that love card. Forgiveness, surrender, guilt, love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. I see myself in everyone. I realize I am testing my resolve to live in love and change. I feel like for some of you, there could be a situation at hand that is very difficult for you to forgive. And it's not even that you don't necessarily want to forgive it. It's almost as if, I'm feeling as if you want to forgive it. You don't want to carry it anymore. But there's this space within this inability to forgive, and it rests in the space where you're not able to see how someone else could have done that to you. You're unable to understand how someone else could have done something that you would have never done. So that makes it kind of difficult for you to forgive it. You know, I watched this YouTube video earlier today, and it was discussing friendship. And the guy was saying that his friend, he let his friend live with him for a time in life and didn't charge him any rent. A couple years down the line, he needed the same favor. You know, he said that he had let the guy stay with him rent-free for about 6 months, didn't give him any rules or anything like that. And then when the situation turned around for, you know, the favor to be returned, you know, his friend told him no. And he said that that did not break their friendship. He said that it didn't break their friendship and that they're still really good friends, and that he categorizes his friends. And that the friend that didn't allow him to stay with him, he categorized him as like a friend that you can just laugh and joke with, you know, have a good time with. But I'm going to tell you this. If that situation resonates with you in any way, it's okay to love someone from a distance. It's okay to love someone from afar. Because some people are not really awake to human need. You know, my issue with that was the guy was saying that, you know, you can't project your ways or your expectations onto someone else. You know, he said he had an expectation and his friend didn't meet it, but that didn't end their friendship. And the thing with that is that it wasn't like you didn't let me borrow $20 or you didn't give me, you know, you didn't share your fries with me, or, you know, it wasn't, you didn't give me money to buy the brand new shoes that just came out. It wasn't something like that. You know, it was literally, where are you going to lay your head? Where are you going to lay your head? And for me, I feel like I felt sad for the guy, kind of, because I felt as if sometimes people will, I feel as if sometimes people will give people passes and excuses based off of their own trauma. And I know that a lot of times guys, I notice that they will let a lot of things in their friendship slide, you know, just based off of the fact that they don't want to be seen as too emotional. But sometimes things do affect them. And sometimes the jokes that friends make amongst each other, it can be very painful. You know, and with this situation, I'm seeing that it has been a difficult journey in order to forgive. But I'm seeing that, you know, that there needs to be a change made. that you can't just spend all your time or all your focus, because your focus is where your energy is going to flow. You know, you can't focus your energy on this friend group, you know? And not to say that you have to throw the baby out with the bathwater when things don't go your way, but for sure understand that we need to understand how desensitized we've been to certain ideas and viewpoints. And friend, the term friend is one of them. Love is another. You know, I don't want to say that we don't understand camaraderie, but a lot of times, in a lot of cases, when I'm in work environments, I notice that people will be brutal. You know, people will do the craziest thing just to hurt you. It doesn't even give them more money on their paycheck. They are just brutal for the fun and game of gossip and drama. You know, so it's like some environments, you have to understand how some environments can really affect the way you feel about yourself. But when you identify what this environment is, it's okay to understand that change is possible. Now, there is also a need to understand this. You can change jobs. You can change platforms. But one thing you can't do is change people. Now, you can change yourself and inspire change, but you cannot manually change anybody. You cannot force anybody to do what you want them to do. So you need to understand that the change needs to come from within. It doesn't need to be that, oh, well, I'm only going to change my environment because this one is toxic. You know, it's funny how you can apply to another job and go to another place and you might have peace for about 3 or 4 months, you know, before the same reasons that you left your old job begin to manifest themselves in the new job. So then it takes looking at self and looking at where self needs to fortify itself. You know, where do you need to tighten up your boundaries? You know, because you can't give too much. You can't give so much that you end up feeling resentment towards people. You know, I'm hearing if there is something that you don't like, you don't have to stand there and pretend like you do. And I understand that to stand up for something that you like or dislike, it kind of singles you out, you know? And that can be a very fearful thing because it can give people reasons to make you an outcast over a viewpoint. And a lot of times this is when leaders are born. You know, you have to understand that this is when a leader is born. And I feel like this is your message, that you are a leader that is being born, and you're being born through this adversity that you don't understand. And it's okay for you to forgive, because this right here, what's happening, it's just the leader's journey. You know, you have to stand up for something that you are passionate about, something that matters to you, something that you want to make a stand so that it ripples through time, the energy of it. You know, you might not like that people gossip at work, and so you don't participate. And so that makes you stick out like a sore thumb, right? And so because of that, you're isolated. Ain't nobody trying to sit with you. You know, and so it causes some feelings. Sometimes, for me, babe, sometimes I'm just like, I'm glad, okay? I can eat my lunch in peace. Yes. Yes, peace. But I'm saying that for you, this is what opens the door to being isolated, and this isolation is where you gain this sacred knowledge, this sacred wisdom, and you become an unspoken leader because I'm hearing you stand on business. You stand on business for real though. You're not trying to, you're not trying to make friends. Like, that's not your goal. You would enjoy friends. It's not that you're against friends, but it's just that if having a friend means you have to compromise the integrity of your soul, then you're just like, miss me with it. Miss me with it for real. And it's coming from this stand-up type of integrity is stemming from your childhood. It's like either you weren't stood up for or you just came to this space. You might even look back at yourself and see ways that you used to have, like being somewhat of a bully or being bullied, and you just don't want it anymore. It's not a reflection that you enjoy. So you go out of your way to stand up for what's right. And people admire this about you. Even if they dislike you, they can't help but admire you. And for some people, this energy is becoming like you're becoming a target for real. Like, and the reason why you're becoming a target is because you're making people wake up. You're making people see themselves, and sometimes that can be very uncomfortable. It's like looking at yourself in the mirror when you first wake up. It's not the same as when you look at yourself in the mirror after you done splash some water up there, and so that's the same thing with the soul. Sometimes when it first wakes up, it's hard to see what it has been contributing to. I know for me, when I first started to wake up and I started to see myself, it happened gradually and slowly. So it was like awakening, and then a couple years go by, awakening, and then a couple, awakening. And then by the time you have your third or fourth awakening, your third or fourth dark night of the soul, you realize how much you don't know and how much your tactics, they work. But at the same time, it's your spiritual fortitude that is the foundation of what is getting you through every time. All these little, this step one, step two. I love my steps. My steps have brought me a long way. Every time God gives me a little, do this, do that, a little step-by-step plan, I love it. I love it. And God shared with me step-by-step plans for triggers and anger and being irate. And I'm going to be sharing those with you. I'm going to be sharing those with you over time, because if you're still listening, you are serious about your spiritual life, your spiritual growth, your spiritual development. It is your earnest desire to make the world a better place. Everywhere you go, you're on Earth Angel activities. If it's something that needs to be done that can benefit a group of people, including yourself, then you do it, even if it's not your job. You make sure that people around you feel the love of God pulsing through you with everything you do and say. You are the type of energy that you can be very intimidating to people's demons. So if people ain't doing their spiritual work, they not even trying to deal with you. And some of them are bold enough to try you in the third dimension. But it's just not smart, because they're not even, what they're seeing is not you. You're just the shell of the love of God. And because some people have dealt with so much abuse in their life, when love comes around, it feels just like abuse to them. They can't tell the difference between love and affection and abuse and hatred, because they have been so traumatized and so abused by life, family, events that have taken place, the way they speak their own conversation in their own mind against themselves. Like, I have met people who were literally on a loop of negative things, saying negative things to themselves over and over, and it's so difficult to break the spell. That takes tangible, in my personal opinion, I think that by the time somebody is seriously on a loop of negativity, I think that at that point it's time to try to do some type of electricity. Even if they go to a shaman, I keep on getting ayahuasca. That one has been coming up so often, but even if it's like, there needs to be a shock. That's what I'm hearing. I'm seeing defibrillator pads, and I'm seeing Hollywood defibrillation when the body just jumps off of the table, I'm seeing that, and it's like the soul needs a shock, because sometimes those negative thoughts, it's so difficult to break them when that's what you have trained yourself to do. And you know where them thoughts usually come from when they're difficult to break like that? Somebody mama. That's why you have to be careful about what you say to your kids and how you say it, because those kids that are the kids that I've met that have such a difficult time of coming off of that loop are repeating things that their mamas have said to them, things their daddies have said to them. And it's mind-boggling to see how people respond to words. They are so powerful. They are so powerful. That's why it's important for you to mind your friendships, because you don't want, like the young man who was saying that he was laughing and joking, right, with his friend. I'm like, in that moment when you're laughing and joking and your guards are down, right, spiritually you're open, you're freedom, because you're laughing. Your soul is giggling, right? So in those moments you're at your most vulnerable. What is somebody how can you trust somebody not to speak curses on your life? How can you trust somebody to look out for your best interests when you are, they've already shown you kind of like who they are and what they're willing to do. Looking at these, I'm hearing hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more. And then the Hermit. It's like you would be better off spending time by your lonely. You would be better off. Like, sometimes we think we need certain relationships, but really what we need is our spiritual growth, our spiritual development. I think it was admirable of the young man to recognize boundaries, in a sense of us not needing to project our own expectations onto someone else that we're in a relationship with. But I also feel that it is so important for us to respect our friends and have love for our friends if they are truly a friend. I come from the type of background where, my family, my grandmother, her home was the home where people could come. If they were sick, they could come to my grandmother's house and get well. If they didn't have nowhere else to go, they could come to my grandmother's house till the day they die. So that is definitely my own wounding, but I'm here and hit the road, Jack, because Earth angels have to be careful with the type of friends that we hold in our bosom. Like, give me clarity, God, on this, because I have my own wound in that area, and I don't want to mislead the viewer. So if they have a friend that is like this, what do you want to tell them about that relationship? Most High. I'm seeing the World card, and I'm seeing sacred contracts. There's contracts here with the White Buffalo, the Ace of Pentacles. Let me look and see what all is here. I'm seeing that if a scenario is present, it really gives you an opportunity. When the adversity is present, it gives you an opportunity to strengthen your bonds. It gives you an opportunity. It gives you an opportunity to state your expectations and not bottle them in, to actually say, like, these are my expectations. I really need you to do this for me, because and I'm cashing in a favor right now. Like, because I need you, and I'm telling you I need you. Like, that's what I'm hearing. and that understanding between friends is going to be reciprocated, and that this friendship has the opportunity to grow and flourish. That this could be your ace boon coon, your ace in the hole, because we got the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. So this could be a win-win situation. And it could sting a little bit too, because it's not easy talking to your friends like that. And it's not easy when you have to tell your friend, like, I'm in need, because it's so humbling, you know, right? But I'm seeing that they don't have to hit the road, okay? Lord have mercy. God be working on me, okay? God be working on me every day. Every day, God be working on me. Okay. This card flipped over. Energy signature. Ooh, yes, the energy signature. It's bringing me back to the whole conversation about the ants and how the ants will be attracted to something, that some food that you lay on the ground, right? And I'm seeing that, like, that is what's happening with you in the soul. That it says the past is in the present. The only reason why I would think that they would say that the past is in the present is because of our memories. And how we hold on to our memories, and how our memories, very much like that food that is dropped on the ground, it attracts more of that. You know, it attracts more of that thing. Unless we're able to, unless we're willing to let certain things go. I'm seeing that there is an upgrade on the table, though. Because we've got light codes, and then we've got this Kundalini rising. And I'm seeing this in a very technological way, because I'm seeing these bits of fire there as like being plugged in, but you're being plugged into the divine. And I'm seeing that as you connect to the divine more and more, that the words you speak are going to be so profound, you know. It's going to be from God. And it comes because you have to go through this shadow energy, this very shadowy energy of understanding your triggers and the things that you desire. Yes, yes. And some of you guys are going to be astral traveling. And I feel like if you've been thinking about doing a fast, that if you do a fast and you do a long fast and you incorporate prayer, that it's going to trigger astral travel for you multiple nights in a row. So have fun with that. Make sure you write down your dreams and what you see. All right. So anyway, I hope that this message has been of assistance to you. It has definitely blessed my soul. You know, I witnessed some of my triggers and where I can do some work for sure. Okay, so I hope this reading has been a blessing and of assistance to you. So until next time, bye.